So your snake won't eat. I've been there 1,000 times before. Trust me, I have a hognose snake and a ball python. And I got some tips for you that might help you get your picky snake to finally eat. I've also got my assistant here, Sir Bernard.
Hello.
Sir Bernard.
We're going to have a jolly good time today.
Thanks, Bernard. He's gonna help me explain and give you some tips about these crazy little guys.
Fish and chips for all.
All right, so tip number 1 is to get your husbandry straight. I'm not talking about your husbands and everything. I'm talking about the environment. So what is getting your husbandry straight? Is your environment correct? Is it the correct environment for the species of snake that you have? Are the temperatures correct? Is it hot enough? Is it cold enough? Some snakes like it colder than hot, believe it or not, but they do. Something very important is the humidity correct. A lot of snakes will not eat if they don't have the right humidity.
Yes, so if your snake is from the desert, you want to make sure he is as warm as a cup of tea with a side of crimpets.
And are there enough hides in the enclosure for the snake to really be calm and feel safe in? So husbandry is a big part of why your snake might not be eating and why I got a cool snake bracelet on right here. The next tip is your snake new. Sometimes people get a new snake, they bring it home and it doesn't eat right away and they freak out because they're like, what the hell, my snake is not eating. I thought snakes just eat. But you gotta give it time. This guy didn't eat for the first 3 weeks that I had him. I was very stressed out. Every time I would put the pinky mouse in there, he'd roll over, he'd play dead. It was a pain in the ass. So you have to make sure you give them enough time to settle into their enclosure. Even when you move a snake into a new enclosure, they might not eat right away. They'll start freaking out. They'll need time to accumulate to their new setting. I got a new snake once and he hid for the first 3 weeks. Didn't see him, didn't eat. And that was my pine snake, and pine snakes eat every time. I gave him time to relax, to hide and dig, and now he eats every time without a question. He feels safe now, unlike Corky here, who's flipping upside down.
God save the Queen. Is your snake new? Then let it be for a few bloody weeks and let him relax before you try feeding the dastardly bastard.
The next tip is just to get to know your snake. Research about your snake, figure out where their habitats are in the wild, try to replicate that as close as possible, and I guarantee you, if your snake wasn't eating, it'll start eating right away. And you also have to know that some of these snake species are very picky eaters, like ball pythons and like hognose snakes. Sometimes they go off eating, they go on hunger strikes. Sometimes snakes, they eat once every 2 weeks. Sometimes they eat once a week. My king snakes eat every single time. My pine snake eats every single time. This guy, he'll go off eating like for a month and then he'll start eating again. So you just gotta get to know your snake so you're not freaking out every time they're not eating.
Get to know your snake like an Englishman knows his way around a knife at a train station.
Hognose snakes don't really eat rodents in the wild, so it's hard to get them on rodents, frozen thawed or live, because they just wanna eat like a frog or like a lizard. The next step is to know what to feed your snake. Know what size. Know how hot they like it. Know if it's live, if they want live, or if they want frozen and thawed. It sucks when your snake eats live instead of frozen and thawed. I have a snake like that. My ball python only eats live. So that's just something we gotta live with. But that's 1 out of the 7 snakes that I own. Sometimes you have to try around. He just would not eat for 5 months straight. We finally said, you know what, let's try live, and he ate it immediately. It sucks because it's sad to see, have a little rat die in your house every 2 weeks, but it's for your snake, and if that's what he prefers, that's what he prefers. And for a guy like this is a hognose snake. This is like a juvenile. It's not really a baby, but he eats like fuzzies, and he'll only eat fuzzies. If I try to feed him anything bigger, he just won't eat it. So I feed him fuzzies. It looks small, but that's the only size he eats. Just get to know your snake, get to know what they like.
Bloody hell, that is some ravishing advice. If your naughty snake isn't eating, maybe try something smaller. Sometimes bigger isn't always better, yes?
And the last tip is just have patience, guys. Have patience with your snake. Give them time to accumulate to your setting, to their environment. Keep trying week after week. Keep trying to get them to feed. I know it sucks to like waste money on feed and waste money on mice and have to throw mice in the trash. It sucks. But if you give them time, they will eat. Give them patience. Put in the research, and you'll figure out a way to get them to eat without having to force feed them, without having to assist feed them. And they'll be happy little guys like this guy. He used to freak out every time I touched him. He used to play dead. And now he's reasonably handleable. Now I could just play with him, hang around with him. So if you guys learned anything, and hopefully this was helpful, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, ring that bell, everything. I'm putting out videos as much as I can. I'm a new channel, so give me some help, some support, and I'll repay you back with some dope content. We have some awesome enclosure builds coming up, so don't miss out on those. Subscribe, and hopefully you guys liked it. All right.